Hey everybody, it's time for the Trick Trades trade recap for September 1st, Friday. I believe that was the first. Yeah. It actually Friday was quite interesting because I haven't had a chance to short a piece of shit in a while, and three came up. Actually, I believe four or five came up. Small caps came up on my scan, and I love short and junk, guys. Like I love it. Like that's where these belong. They're down. They're garbage companies with like they're just horrible, right? I mean, a lot of them are scams and shit too. So I do love shorting these, and it's very easy money once the chart has proven to be ready. Okay, don't fight these fucking things. You see so many people, they fight them. They fight them and then they get roped in, and you hear these guys taking big losses on shit. You're really gonna let mankind get the best of you, or PYDS get the best of you? That's nonsense. It's nonsense. Anyways, I'm not going to go off on a rant. Sorry, guys. So I'll start with ADAP. Actually, CLMT was actually, I was watching this. This was on my watch list as well because it was starting to get ramped up. And I was watching for the retest of 8. And I even said, if 9 hits, that's your price right there. I really wanted it to go to 9, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't watching this later on, but I do find it quite funny that it basically nailed the target and fucking died. So you guys, really got to be watching my watch list. I mean, they're fucking gold, man. They're gold. Same with Moe's. Like our watch lists are some of the best out there. We've all subscribed to other services, and you've looked at their watch list, and they're fucking garbage. You can tell they don't even try. These are damn near to the penny of what these stocks are going to do. But anyways, CLMT, I didn't end up taking this trade because it was kind of later on, and I did have my son for the weekend, so I wanted to cut all my positions and just go outside and play, man. So we'll get into ADAP. Okay. So ADAP, it was a little disappointing because it was very low volume on the day, especially the morning. It's pretty bad that on this. I mean, you can see most of my position in this this one fucking candle, man. I mean, I don't like that. So instantly I was a little concerned with ADAP because there wasn't a lot of panic volume, and that's the type of volume you're looking for on lower price tickers, because if you go to the daily chart here, it's extended. So you're looking for all of these guys that chased it and that are in, you're looking for some of them to panic, and not a lot of them did. We had a really, like, look at this beautiful call, hey guys, like just fucking beautiful. And it ended up coming down. I said I wanted it to test 7 over under and then fail, and that's exactly what it did. So I gave this one to the second candle. You guys, like, I kind of struggle with making these trade recaps, especially on low price junk, because I get in very early. You got to remember, I have years and years and years of experience reading price action, guys. That, like that, I don't think you realize how far that goes. And when I feel that this is ready, it's ready. Rarely am I wrong, and I'm very quick on the trigger, and I take extreme precaution. Okay, so on ADAP, it ended up kind of just sitting there, and then it opened, the secondary candle, it opened up and it popped. So as soon as it started rejecting, I got short instantly. So I got short. I got a pretty decent fill. It was just over 7. I think it was 705 is where my fill was. This is a 5-cent ticker. So I had an awesome average. And then it did test again, but I didn't really care. This candle is more of the spread, because the offer was up here and the bid was 705, I believe. So it was just because of the spread. So I wasn't worried about it. Because when the spreads can get wonky, don't get too shook out if it retests or something like that, because it's just the spreads, right? Because these candles mark the opening price and the close price, right? Like, you know what I mean? So it can be a little bit, it can be a little wonky. So anyways, as soon as it flushed out in through the previous close, I ended up, I took some off in here in this wash, paid myself a little bit more into this wash. I always pay on washes, especially nice washes like that. It started climbing back up, and I just kind of was patient with the rest. I was hoping for a nice big crack. I was actually thinking that this had the potential to come down to about 650 or six. It didn't quite make it there. Um, it came down later on, but I wasn't gonna hold these all day. I usually do. I usually like to hold these pieces of shit because they can give those end of day cracks. But like I said, I mean, I had my son. I just wanted to get out of these positions. So make some quick money, get in, get out, especially on a long weekend on a Friday, right? I mean, super low volume. So you can see this crazy fucking candle. This is a 5% candle. Okay, that's retarded. So as soon as that happened, I didn't get shook or anything like that. You always want to just give it time. When you get a crazy candle like that, it's instantly overextended. Okay, no reason to get scared out. This is just a fucking short covering, right? That's all it is. You can see it's a 5,000 share short covering, right? It's 6.1 thousand, but it's probably had some chasers running it up or some garbage like that. So, and he marketed out. He's just an asshole, right? Doesn't know how to fucking properly do this shit. But anyways, I hate that. I hate when they do that. So then as soon as this candle was over, I just peeled off little bits, little bits. You can see some of my covers here. There's 600 shares, and there's quite a few in here where you can actually see this is basically where I took off the rest. And it's pretty funny, and I hate that actually that you can see my basically my shares. There's 7K. So yeah, that's the way you got to do it. You just got to peel off slowly on um, uh, low price, low float, low volume type of tickers. Especially like I said, I mean, I was kind of thinking that there would have been more volume to it, but is what it is. No, actually, I want to say PYDS for the best for last. Okay, Mankind. Let's take a look at the daily. So in my watch list, I said I was risking off this level here. If it decided to pop, I was going to give it to about the 240, 250 area. That's what I was risking off of. This candle here was a dead giveaway on the daily chart. Mankind has a really big cult following, as Noah brought up in the chat room, and he's absolutely right. I mean, people know this stock like the back of their hand, and for some reason, some people think it's going to the moon, and then others like me know it's coming back down. But look at this beautiful call though. Just a beautiful candle. It's basically one of the biggest ones on the chart. It's just a lovely day on Friday. So let's go to the intraday. So on Mankind, see, this is one that I would have liked to have held for a couple days, but I like being cash at the end of the day. So on Mankind, I got a beautiful average. Now, because I was risking off of a certain level, I basically jumped in short. As soon as the pop relaxed a little bit, I got short. I got a killer average. I believe my average was 220. I'd have to pull up my account, but I mean basically just damn near top ticked it within a few cents. So really nice average. And all it did was put up a slight fight. It just popped once, rejected at the opening price, and fucking died. So on this, I did call out in chat because this thing can move against. It can move against quite quickly. It does have a little bit bigger float, so you don't have to worry about things getting too wet and wild. But I did call out in chat that I was going to cover a few on this because it was looking like it wanted to bounce at the previous close. So that's going to be an area of support that you really got to watch. And then it died. paid myself on this nice big wash. See, once it starts kind of, you can see these consecutive candles, you know that a wash is coming, and people are going to have this area because it's chart support. You see this right in here, they're going to have some stop losses set, right? Or even some stop losses down here, right? So that's why you get this big wash candle. So you can kind of predict those big washes and have some orders ready. So I covered some up in here, and then it bounced. I did add a few back in on this, and then was just kind of patient. Not many. When I add, I don't, especially if I'm not looking to hold all day, I just add a few just to get that little bit of icing on the cake. And it was right at, it was just beautiful. I ended up hitting this crack, and as soon as it started kind of bouncing, I got out on the rest, because you can see there's a little bit of chart support in this area, right? It did break through, but then it quickly kind of went. And see, what I'm looking for on these low of day breaks are people setting stop losses, and if it doesn't have a big dirty wash candle, that's when I'll peel some off, because it's more than likely going to bounce. And it was getting around lunchtime, and like I said, had my son, and I didn't want to hold this, and we did end up getting that end of day crack, right? And this was the move I was actually looking for, but family's more important than money to me, so I really didn't want to be thinking about mankind while I'm spending the day with my son and my beautiful girlfriend. So yeah, so mankind was a really good trade, very textbook, very low stress, very easy. PYDS, this thing, oh, love it. So on PYDS, I was risking off this level here. Okay, it's all about just risking off levels, especially with pieces of shit. Okay, risking off levels like this doesn't necessarily work with mid and large caps. It does, don't get me wrong. I mean, they follow support and resistance quite well. But the mid and the large and the mega caps, they have bigger floats, so you don't get that quick pop and then fail, just like PYDS did. So like I said, I was risking off 265. I got a really good average on PYDS, and I should have set my orders a little bit a little higher technically, but I probably would have missed a fill, right? So I'd rather what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of take away from my gains a little bit to guarantee that fill. So I had an order sitting at 50. I got filled all of my position. Fucking beautiful. So damn near top ticked it. It would have been nice to actually top tick this, but I mean, a guy would have set it right at, because if you're risking at 60, the 60 level, I maybe would have got a full fill. I probably would have just got a partial, because I always set it for 1 cent below my risk area, right? And this would have hit it right at 59. So let me zoom in on this so you guys can really see the candles here. So, oh yeah, that's also, so PYDS, I mean, you can, let me go to the 3 minute. So PYDS, you know, that's something I want you guys to watch for. When there's no volume in something, okay? Like you can see, there's fucking no volume, and then all of a sudden, you get some volume. And it's not a lot, don't get me wrong, it's not a lot. But look, from the previous close to highs, and then to the close, was roughly 10%. If this thing's up 10% out of nowhere, watch for a continuation the second day, and you can easily long it, because you'll get that first big green day out of it, especially something like PYDS. Super low floater, 6 million in float, right? So you want to, like I said, now you're just risking off of a certain level, right? That's kind of a little trade secret, man. I mean, a lot of people, they really try and nail their entries, and it's just about risking on certain levels. I mean, until you really grasp that concept, you'll always struggle, and you'll struggle with your entries. But once you just decide to, okay, I'm just going to risk off that level and get in, you're not concerned about the perfect entry, right? And you're able to pull the trigger a little quicker. Okay, anyways, not to go off on a tangent about entries. So anyways, had an order sitting 250, got a full fill. And then it just, I mean, it fucking died. The only time I was concerned was when it started pulling a red to green, and it did go green for a second. If this would have had a confirmation candle up here, I just would have got out and then looked for it to ramp probably up to the $3 area, and then I would short it back down. Some people, they'll just add all the way up. There's no point to that, guys. I know some people are trying to build a position, but I got a pretty meaty position off of this. There's no major reason to be adding like that, and it's risky as fuck. And people that do that, they have massive accounts. It's not for you guys to be doing, and I wish they would tell guys that, but they don't. They don't give a shit, right? So that was the only time I was really concerned, and yeah, I mean, it worked. I added some more into the VWAP rejection, and not much, right? Because I don't like to fuck on my average too bad, especially if I'm not going to be holding for that end of day crack. And the end of day crack never came, so we could actually get one more day out of PYDS. It might actually have a pop. We'll see. I mean, I'm not necessarily calling that because this piece of shit's probably done and gonna fade down, but it is something to watch for. So I just wanna, where the fuck is it? So on this one here, I just want to get kind of zoomed in a little bit. So I paid myself on these washes, and then I even called out that it was basing. It was basing and couldn't break the 2. So as soon as it kind of popped up a little bit, I was like, fuck it, because it was getting pretty close to lunchtime. Just like, no, I'm gonna get out. So I ended up covering up the rest. Nice little win, nothing huge, guys. Like, that's why you see that I prefer stocks with range, because what did I make off of that one? Somewhere in that area. So to my bottom cover, it's about 42 cents, which is massive for like an under $3 stock. But it's just like, I can catch 42 cents on something times 2 or 3, right? Like, I'm not a huge fan of junk anymore, but I will short the shit out of them when they do pop up. So let's keep an eye on some more junk to short back down where it belongs. I hope you guys enjoyed the trade recap. I think that there's a lot of really good lessons and information in it, and yeah, really pay attention to it. You know, and if you check into the funded accounts program, you don't have to play these garbage stocks anymore. You can play really good solid stocks, and if you're always waiting for low floaters to become extended to short down or even to long, you're going to be waiting a long time. Like, small cap markets can disappear for years on end. So that's why I'm a big believer in you guys playing proper stocks. And so the TrickTrades funded accounts program, basically all you're doing is you're just paying for education. You're not paying for the account. You're really just paying for the education, and then we provide you with a funded account with really nice buying power, so that you're able to trade nice stocks like SIG when I nailed that short on. I believe it was this day here, or maybe it was on this day. I just completely nailed it for almost 3 points. So that's what I'm getting at, guys. This is almost ready for a short. So this is a nice little bonus for you guys. You see this trend line? It's been following for like fucking long time. Look where it's almost at. It's almost at the trend line. Okay. So let's watch for a short on this on Tuesday after the long weekend. But if you have too small of a count, you're going to miss this move. right? And this is going to be an easy money day. Easy money day that's going to probably provide you with 2 or 3 points. So thousands of dollars. So look into the funded accounts program. Go to tricktrades.com. I'll post the link down below. And we'll see you guys. Take care.